Here's my new video. So please do like and subscribe to my channel and also click the alert button so you can see whenever I do add any new videos. Thank you for watching and enjoy.
Hey, if anybody is just watching this on repeat, just do a hashtag replay. But this is my day 10 on my mental health matters live challenges, where we're going to be speaking to 30 different people over 30 days in regards to their mental health journeys and what they've done to overcome everything. So I'm just going to bring today's guest on. Hope everybody's okay. And obviously, again, I would like to say to everybody that we don't want to cause any kind of trigger warnings to anybody. It is a sensitive subject, and it is something that if you do need help, please seek professional help, okay? Like, we're not trained in anything, we're not qualified in anything, we're just really trying to get our voices. So I'm just going to wait for the connection. And when it's on, I'm just going to. Right, so there's the request. Let me just. Right. I think she's just trying to get in now, so just give me a second. Right, 1 second. I'm gonna send a request for her for Lizzie to come in, just because I don't think it's working on her end. Anybody who was on my video last night, they would have seen that didn't work. Hello, are you okay?
Nervous.
No, Vicky's saying there's no sound. Can nobody hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
Maybe we need headphones.
Oh no,
Oh,
I've said the sound.
the sound now is fine. Because I haven't actually got headphones and I normally wear them. So, hello everybody, and obviously, like I've just said that I've just gone through everything that we're not trained in anything. We're just here giving like whatever we can give to people to help people on their way. So, do you want to just introduce yourself to us, please, Lizzie, and let everybody know who you are?
Yeah, of course, I'm Lizzie. I'm 35 and I'm from Lancashire in the UK. I'm married and I've got two little Jack Russells as my little fur babies. And yeah, I'm just wanted to sort of come and talk about some things that I've been through. I'm not going to go through all of my the issues that I've dealt with in the past. I'd be here for a month. But I'm just going to focus today on one of the key things that's impacted my entire life, which is around my weight. So
Okay, no worries. So, well, thank you so much for sharing that. Do you want to kind of just delve into a little bit about you, about your background, and obviously what the one of the factors is in this?
yeah, so I personally have suffered with sort of mental health throughout my life, without realizing for many years, because there's a lot of that it was very sort of hidden from me when I was younger that there are sort of mental health issues. I used to think that I was being irrational with some of the thoughts that I was having, and just thought I was being silly. When actually, as I've grown older, I've realised now actually there's something there that I need to tackle. I was on medication for 5 years. I was on sertraline for 5 years, to tackle not just what I'm going to talk about today, but a number of issues. And at the stage where I am right now, I'm in a much better place where I can handle a lot of things more than what I have done in the past. So I think if you was to ask me to do this about 9, 10 months ago, I wouldn't be here to do that. I wouldn't have managed. Don't get me wrong, I'm still panicking now, but I'll get through it as much as I can.
Yeah, no,
Um,
obviously you just share whatever you're comfortable with. Like, there's no right or wrong in any of this. So it's something that. So do you want to kind of go through the things that kind of affected you and the reasons why and things like that, so people can get an understanding?
Yeah, so my weight issues they've always been there since I was a child. And even from little things where, like, just kids in the schoolyard would call you fat. And actually, when I look back on photographs now of when I was a child, I wasn't fat at all. I wasn't even overweight compared to a lot of other people, but I started to believe that I was. And then as the years went on, and I would hear it more and more, like when I was age 15, when I look back on pictures, I had a gorgeous figure at the age of 15. Don't get me wrong, I've always been quite heavy chested. But in terms of like my size, when I look back, I wasn't actually what I would class as big. But there was one particular person at school that always like it. I hear it. I hear it so vividly, even now. So I'm getting a bit upset.
Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
Some water. Sorry about this.
No, don't. It's fine.
So there was a guy who, I say guy, he was a child. He was like 15 as well. In fact, I think he was younger. And he would sing the song. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got a fat ginger bitch in his hands.
Take a deep breath. And this is something that still triggers you right now, obviously, like for something like that. And I think to have somebody to make them kind of comments, to have such an impact on you 20 years later, if not more, is
Yeah,
something that it's like obviously there's a lot of underlying issues and things like that, but what he's done is he's had such, this one person with these comments has had such an impact on you throughout your whole life that this has kind of had a knock-on effect for other series of events throughout your life.
yeah, it really
I'm
has.
not saying that that was the initial trigger,
Oh, no,
and
no, 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 there's more to it.
one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, are you okay to continue?
Oh, God, yeah, yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
fine. I'll have me more and I'll carry on. um, so yeah, that was one of the major triggers. And when I was hearing those things, I started to believe them. And then I'd comfort eat. And then I'd put weight on. And then I'd start to basically, because of my beliefs that I had in myself, I would start to then give myself evidence that those beliefs are true.
Yeah.
And I would start to comfort eat. I'd then go on like really silly crash diets and I'd lose quite a bit of weight, but I would restrict myself that much that I would then binge eat and it'd all get piled back on again.
Not
Um, yeah. Which I think this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this, because I know that there's a lot of people that probably do the same sort of things. Um, a few other comments that had been made in my past that still stick with me, when people would describe someone else as a big girl and then say to me, no offense. Adding that no offense as just really offended me.
Yeah.
Yeah, or when someone talks to you and like they're saying, "Oh, you've got a really pretty face," and I'm thinking, well, is that because the rest of me not isn't good enough? And you just start to really put yourself down, and you look for things that probably aren't even there. And like I think when it comes to mental health, you've got to remember that some things just they are so irrational that like your thoughts like to other people might just think that you're just being completely bonkers when actually in my own mind I truly believe these things and they just break my heart, even to the point where I have got four of the most amazing best friends ever. One of them's actually on here now, and they're all quite slim and they're all very small built. And when it came to me getting married and they were my bridesmaids, I was panicking, thinking I'm gonna look like a massive fat bride next to these gorgeous, like thin people. So I didn't want to go wedding dress shopping. And when I did go wedding dress shopping, it was the most fearful thing I've ever had to go through. And but then when I found the dress, I was like, hang on a minute, I actually look really good. I look like it. It it's just strange how your mind can really like sort of just take control of yourself that way. And so I did take a couple of notes to remind myself of things that I wanted to touch on. So yeah, one of the things is around sort of fears of just things day to day. So one of one of the things that I've seen out like if you watch Friends and you see the bit about Monica in that beanbag chair, which is actually it's really funny on TV. That is actually a genuine fear for me, is sitting in a beanbag because I'm scared of how I'll look getting out of it. I am also scared whenever I go to like anywhere, anyone's house, I'm scoping the room or scoping a restaurant or a bar to find a chair, which is easy for me to get back out of without looking like that fat girl in the corner.
And this
Um,
is something that's like, this is a knock-on effect, isn't it? Like from
yeah,
what's been said about you. This is so sad.
yeah, and it is all around. I mean, you'll notice my Instagram handle now is Lizzie Self Belief because I'm on
Yeah.
a journey now to start believing in myself more and realizing that I've basically created all these like beliefs over time that I'm this fat girl that I've then come for eight, and then I've realised that actually, yeah, I have put weight on because I've come for eight, and then I've become bigger than what I was previously, and it is because I've just had that belief in myself that I'm a fat person, so I made it happen, and I genuinely believe that that is how I got to the weight I was. Like this time last year, I got to my heaviest ever. I mean, I lost quite a bit of weight before my wedding, but then again, as soon as I got married, I was like, oh, the pressure's off. I can comfort eat again. And I put a lot of weight back on, and then yeah, this time last year, I'd got to my heaviest, which was actually 19 stone 6. Um, I, I've yo-yoed since then, but I've started a new sort of um I've not dieted at all, but I've started a more of a health kick and a weight loss journey since the 4th of January, and I'm now back down to 16 stone 11 and a half.
Amazing.
So, and I haven't done anything other than change my beliefs and um, look at my lifestyle, and I don't have that fear of food anymore. I don't have that. Um, I don't have the same sort of feelings around like whenever I used to diet, I would think I can't eat that I can't eat that McDonald's or I can't eat that Chinese. I can't eat this because I'm just gonna ruin everything. Whereas actually it's not the case. You can actually have whatever you want in moderation. And the way I've changed my thoughts now, I don't even think about the fact that I'm having a takeaway one night. It doesn't, I don't think, oh God, I'm being naughty because the rest of the time I'm actually making really good choices. And it's not a big thing for me to make those like healthier choices. I'm drinking more water and I'm thinking more about sort of what I'm doing without it being constantly there thinking I'm on a diet, I'm on a diet. I'm not actually on a diet. I'm just starting to believe in myself, which is
Yeah,
it,
and I think it's something that we've obviously touched on as well for your self-belief journey, which is amazing. So can you just kind of go through how is your day-to-day life back from then up until now? So like what things, I know that obviously you're doing your couch to 5K at the moment, aren't you? So what kind of things do you have, what lifestyle changes, if you could say that, if like obviously whatever, yeah, what lifestyle changes have you made? Um and also like what mindset changes did you make as well?
yeah. So previously, I'd think, I'd basically, I'd get up, go about my day as normal. I would pick things that I would think were healthy, and I'd probably eat a lot more. My portion sizes were a lot bigger, and I would find that like I wouldn't want to go shopping. I wouldn't want to buy myself any new clothes. I wouldn't want to try anything on. Um, I mean, I still have a fear of shopping now, which is quite good that for me that there is a lockdown and I can't go shopping because I don't like going into shops looking at clothes because a lot of the shops that I would want to shop at, I can't because of that they don't go up to my size. And like I would go into a shop with somebody else and believe that I don't belong there because I'm not small enough to be able to shop in that shop. Um, and yeah, they're all sort of fears and beliefs that I had around myself, like going shopping. Again, I would probably I'd drink more fizzy drinks. I would um yeah, and I would just generally all day, every day, put myself down. I'd avoid mirrors. I wouldn't want to look at myself. I would I'd take selfies, but they would be at an angle which would completely hide how I would look. So for anybody on the outside that's watched me on social media um, for a long time, I would it wouldn't be me. And then when people said, and then I'd have a fear of seeing people because they'd see me on Facebook or seeing old school friends that see me on Facebook that might think that I am a certain size when Like when they see me in person, I'm much bigger than that, and I've just got an angle, and you can't angle yourself in person. Um, where it started to change for me was probably around May, June last year. I actually saw a psychic and hypnotherapist. And as part of the hypnotherapy that I had, I spoke about a situation that had happened 10 years ago. At the time, back then, me and my husband, who weren't married at the time, we were trying for a baby. We got pregnant and I had a miscarriage. And I forced myself to believe that the reason we had a miscarriage was because I was too fat to carry the baby, and then I couldn't get pregnant afterwards. Um, just have a sip. Put a bit of Malibu in my Coke. Mm. Um,
All the time you need.
yeah, and just to put into perspective for everybody now, we don't have children now, but that's actually a choice now. We made the choice that we're actually happy with the way we are. We've got a really good marriage. We've got two Jack Russells that we love, and we've made that decision not to sort of try for children again. And I am more than happy with that. I personally at the time couldn't mentally carry on trying for a baby. I couldn't even think about going for IVF or anything like that. Because I just thought I'm too fat to have children, and I can't get pregnant because of my weight. And I started to think that my body hated me. And this is something that actually came out in the hypnotherapy. I didn't even realize that this was an issue until I had this hypnotherapy, and it just blurted out. It was really strange how it had happened. During that hypnotherapy, she talked me through how she basically got me to start forgiving myself and forgiving my body. And some of the things that I was saying was like, I acknowledge that I felt these things. I am sorry that I felt this way about my body, and I forgive myself, and I love my body, and I love who I am. I love the way I look. I love the fact that I'm healthy. I love X, Y, and Z. And just went through all of these things, and it was a solid hour of me basically giving myself those affirmations. And that's why every day now on my Instagram and Facebook, I'm putting affirmations out there. They're not always about sort of how you look and how you are. To me, it's a bigger thing. It's all around the self-belief in all areas. And affirmations are something that have really, really helped me massively. Around the same time of that, I found the law of attraction after reading the book The Secret. And I started realizing that, I mean, to most people that have ever known me, they've always thought I've been a really positive person, but it's always been that I've never wanted to upset anybody that's been around me. I've always wanted to make everybody else happy because I didn't want them to feel how I felt. So that was back sort of May, June last year. Come August, I actually started to forget to take my medication. So I used to have to take sertraline for my anxiety and depression, and I would have to take sleeping tablets. I used to be on take Zopiclone at least 3 times a week, and also a drug called Phenergen, which is like a strong antihistamine, which is also quite good for like sedation. And so I would I was taking those, but I just suddenly stopped. I started forgetting to take them, and 2 weeks later, I thought, shit, I've not had my medication for 2 weeks, but I'm all right. Whereas previously, if I forgot a day, I knew about it. I knew it, and I started spiraling. Whereas I didn't, and I've not actually had a single antidepressant or sleeping tablet since that time. And it is all down to my thinking and my beliefs that I've been having, which is it's insane, but it's just so powerful. And I read a book called The Belief Principle by an author called Steve Aitchison, who I actually interviewed last week. That's on my page. But if anybody wants to start understanding how you can change your beliefs, the Belief Principle, I highly recommend it. There's also another book which my good friend Lauren told me about, which was I Am Enough by Marissa Peer. That one helped me massively as well.
Well, that's amazing. I'm so like, I think it's so nice to see the kind of the breakthrough and how you are now. So what is like how are you now?
I am much, much better. Don't get me wrong, I've still got my triggers, as you can tell by just speaking about it. I'm a work in progress, and I am taking people on that journey with me every day through social media, because I think for me to know how I felt and what I've been through, to think that there's anyone else out there that might be going through those same things, it just breaks my heart.
Yeah. And I think as well how you portrayed yourself through social media prior, when you were saying before about like obviously the angles and finding all them stuff, things like that, like you kind of seen social media as a toxic place then
Yeah,
because of fear of judgment of other people. So you could
absolutely.
only show what you were willing to show because you were scared to show the real Lizzie, if you
Yeah,
like. So you only showed yourself to an extent because of how it was. But now, obviously, I've been watching your Couch to 5K. Like I see you on your videos. So now it's like to have
you
that
see
break,
the whole thing now.
using social media as a powerful place rather than a toxic place.
Yeah,
To even have that transformation and to show yourself as openly as you do. I think it's absolutely amazing that you've done that, and even like your journey that you're doing, like your self-belief journey. Like again, it's like showing people that you don't have to live like this. Like there is a
no,
way around it. There is a way through it and a way out of it as well. And obviously, you're
yeah.
kind of going through. You're like the light
I'm
there.
taking people with me on my
Yeah,
journey.
the light's there
Yeah,
and you like run into the light if you like. And I think that's
yeah.
so, so amazing to see something like that. So one of the other questions that I wanted to ask you as well, Lizzie, is what support did you get at that time of when you kind of felt like something needed to change?
I've got I have got a really good sort of support network. My best friends are just incredible, and also in the network marketing business that I'm in, I have made so many new friends in there as well who have been so helpful, and a lot of the people that I've met through that all believe in the law of attraction as well. So being able to speak quite freely about things like that. 'Cause some people might not fully understand it. Now I know my best friend Janet's on here now. She's been amazing throughout. She's listened to everything around the law of attraction. She really wants to understand it, and it's just been so nice to have that. My husband's been so supportive, and like he struggles with running because of his knees, but he brings the dogs with him and comes with me to my runs, because actually I tried Couch to 5K before I got married, when I was on a health kick then, and I was running round in public, and there was some kids along there, and one of them shouted, "Oh God, look at the fat girl run," laughing their heads off. And that just, again, I just quit.
It's because you've been triggered and it's gone
Yeah,
back to that Dave, that guy saying them things to you. And that's something that is some you take action on everything, but then the trigger is there and the
yeah.
trigger is always
And
there.
it just
And
reverts back
yeah,
to where I was.
and then
Whereas
it sets you up to stop all of a
yeah,
sudden.
yeah. Whereas actually, I've had a few challenges over the past couple of months since I've been sharing my journey, since I've been sharing my weight loss. I've been so open. I've put full on side by side pictures, which I would have never dreamed of doing.
Yeah,
Like
the big thing.
the first picture that I posted, I was physically sick after I posted it, because it was literally as as I was, straight on angle, which you can't hide anything. And even I put the picture of my weight on the scales on there as well. And yeah, like I said, I was physically sick, and I've had a few trolls on social media, and I've actually been able to rise above it. I've not let
Yes.
that impact me, which, like I say, at one stage it would have done. Um, so I actually did a post about it. I wanted to raise awareness of that as well. So I even showed the comments, purposely removed the names of the people that was doing it from there, because to be honest, I think it was people creating profiles and just to just to be mean, because that does happen. But I think for anybody that does receive any nasty comments like that, it says absolutely nothing about you, and it says everything about the person that's actually writing those. And that's something that I've had to learn. And for me to get those comments, and I actually, they made me laugh at the thought that I felt a bit of a power that they actually thought they could bring me down, and they didn't. And it felt really powerful that I was able to do that. Yeah, Lauren's just put, yeah, Lizzie, you flipped it. I did. I completely flipped that, and I used it as a positive to sort of highlight to other people that I've been getting these comments, but I'm carrying on and I'm still going. And don't get me wrong, like you've seen it raw today that I these things still do trigger me, but they're not going to stop me now, and they're not going to stop me believing in myself. I'm going to be saying my affirmations every single morning. I'm going to be saying my like gratitude and intentions. I'm so grateful for who I am. I'm so grateful for my body as it is. I'm so grateful for my health. I have got a couple of health things going on at the moment, which I'm going to the doctors for. They're doing some tests to see if I've got polycystic ovaries, which would explain a lot of what I'd been through years ago. If it is that, but if it's not that, then we'll figure out what it is. And again, it's something that I've been so frightened of doing for years. I've not wanted to go to the doctors to find out what's wrong with me, when actually it could be nothing, and it could just be all in my head.
I don't think even something like that. I think once you've kind of addressed it, which like my sister makes a comment all the time, but once you've actually addressed it and dealt with it, it's getting through that particular time. Is so many people stop themselves from actually taking action because of the fear of being told. But then at the same time, it's like, but do you want to keep living your life how you're living it? Or do you want better? Do you want more? Do you want to change it? So it's kind of like that fear of attacking what's actually wrong and like dealing with it is one more bad time in your life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, yes, it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be pleasant. It's going to be, you're going to probably be upset or hurt or all these different negative emotions. But it's just one more big thing to prevent it keep happening. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like I need to get that in there as well. I'm so sorry. Continue.
Yeah, no, honestly, I wouldn't be where I am right now if I hadn't made those choices. If I hadn't taken that action to start working on myself, start working on my own beliefs, to start every day focusing on loving myself, because I didn't. I actually hated myself. I hated my body. I hated who I was. I hated having that fear. I hated being around other people that looked better than me, because I was thinking that I just wasn't worthy to be around these people. Why should I be in a crowd with all these beautiful women that, like, I'm just not one of them, when actually, like, it feels silly actually saying those words now, because I know that nobody was thinking that but me.
Yeah.
And
something that you think that at that time that everybody's thinking it.
Yeah, you really do. And don't get me wrong, you'll always get someone that will make an odd comment. But like when I posted I did it as a sort of a trigger warning, because it's something that would have triggered me in the past. And when I posted that, the comment that I had on my Facebook around my weight, I actually can't remember the words, which I think's something that, again, that's quite powerful, that I've not let that sink in my head, whereas I've still got that young lad singing in my head, that those words haven't gone, whereas when this comment was made, that those words aren't there anymore. And I can't actually remember what the comment was. I just remember that it happened and I posted about it. I'm trying to think what my point was. I'm just going off on a tangent. Yeah, I've forgotten what I was saying, sorry.
No, it's fine. We were just talking about obviously what you've done to kind of change things as well, and how far you've come. But I honestly think it's amazing. And obviously, in regards to the guy singing in the head with the trigger, that is, I feel like the reason that is still a trigger now, and the other things that where you've just said there you can't remember, is because that trigger was probably where a lot of, and I'm not saying where everything stemmed from, but where a lot of things stemmed from. So every single thing, every series of
I
events
reverted back to that.
that happened always went back to this point.
Yeah.
Whereas everything that's happened along the way, it doesn't matter because the initial point was here. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's something that obviously that is a work in progress. And I really, really hope that it is something that you can kind of face on and deal with to a point where
Yeah.
it's going to be really upsetting for you to do it. But I think once it's kind of been acknowledged to deeply, like obviously
Yeah.
like I can't do any of that kind of stuff. It's very once it's been acknowledged deeply to the root core of the problem,
Yeah.
because even though that's what the initial trigger, there's always an underlying issue
Yeah.
to why, and then obviously you need to go back to that. So, but I think what you've done and what you've achieved is absolutely amazing, and I know for a certain fact you are going to help so many people with this, especially with your self-belief journey as well, because you are just showing everybody that you can't be beaten. Like, people can't tear you down. Like, you deserve better than this. You are more than this, and like, and you're a queen. Do you know what I mean? So it's something that, because you believe it now, nobody can ever take that away from you. And that's the most important thing. And I know that it is a journey that you're going on at the moment. But
Yeah.
honestly, when you get to like the other side, it's so exciting. But the journey itself is so, which you'll know now, it's so exciting because you kind of learning new things about yourself over and over and over again. And it's like, oh, this is
Yeah.
amazing. Like,
It's
isn't
like
it?
it's even just doing things like this. Like, I wouldn't have dreamed of doing it. I wouldn't like. I mean, talking about, I had a full on like shake before I came on live, and I it was a fear, but like, just
But
gotta
the
feel
thing
the
that
fear
you
and do
can
it
so
anyway.
you've done
Yeah.
it. You've done it, and you
Yeah.
should be so proud of yourself that you've done it. And this is now another kind of pinnacle point in your journey, in your self-belief journey, that you've done this. Like, and it's something that I'm just here using my platform and my voice to help you be heard, help your voice be heard, get your story out there to help the next person that could be feeling how you felt all them years ago. So what advice would you give to somebody that is in this kind of situation, or they are feeling like that, or obviously they are having a lot of weight issues and things like that? What advice would you give to somebody to kind of, because at the end of the day, like, nobody can do anything unless you take action. And
Yeah.
so what advice would you give?
It is literally that. The only person that can change how you're feeling about yourself right now is you, and it's trying to find something that works for you. But I truly believe it is all down to your self-belief. And if you can get hold of a book, a life-changing book like what I've had, which for me, like I say, was I Am Enough and The Belief Principle. There's lots of others out there that Feel the Fear, Do It Anyway. That was another one.
What's my
It's
favourites?
amazing. And like, if you're not into reading, get an audiobook on, or just,
Podcasts.
yeah, or just get some, like, start reading self-belief quotes. Follow my page. Honestly, you like
Yeah.
the affirmations that I put out every day, like, I'll put quotes out every day, and it's all around self-belief, because
Yeah.
I just don't want anyone to ever have to go through what I've been through previously. And if there is somebody that is already in that space, then my inbox is always open as well. Just reach out to people, get it out there that this is how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Acknowledge how you feel. Do not disregard how you feel. You feel that way for a reason, and we need to get past that.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not a professional. This is just what worked for me. And I'm sure there's lots of other ways that people can sort of find the way forward. But it's just, don't ever discount your feelings, and just actually believe that you can do and be anything that you want to be. You've just got to believe in yourself and just keep going and take that action to work on yourself every single day,
Yeah.
because it's not something that you can just flick a switch and that's it. I believe in myself now. It is a work in progress, and it is action every single day.
That's what we said. It's a journey, and but the thing is, is yeah, you're going to have some like kind of bumps in the road. It's going to be a bit shitty sometimes,
Right.
but that's life. You have that any day. But if you take action every single day and be consistent with the action that you're taking,
Absolutely.
it's something that it honestly, and this is sort of coming from me who's actually done it, like obviously completely different circumstances, but the journey itself, like, and like my heart is just so full all the time knowing that, because I can see like you've gone from there, you're in this process, but you're getting there, and it's like, but this bit here is so exciting. It's so
Yeah.
like, oh my God, like this is amazing.
I
Like
think
I feel
I've literally got
amazing.
goosebumps to like, because I know, I deep down, I know now that I am gonna achieve everything that I want to in my life.
100%,
And
100%. And once you've
it is
kind of set the
exciting.
beliefs in, you've planted them seeds, it's there. You know, you're just waiting for it to bloom, if
Yeah.
anything. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, I'm so excited.
We'll have to do this again in a year or so and see where it
Yeah, yeah,
is.
definitely. But honestly, like obviously, I know it's not nice, what obviously everything that you went through, but I do believe that everything happens for a reason. And as much as it is not nice at all what you've gone through, and you've gone through some awful, awful times, everything happens for a reason. And I sometimes think that they have happened because it's molded you into the person that you are right now. And right now you're here on a live video, which is again is a big thing for you to be doing, like speaking so openly about your struggles, and to share it with other people just to help the next person. So I know we're going to help people with this, like
I
massively.
really
I
hope
think we're
so.
going
I
to help a
hope
lot
that's
more
all it's
people than
doing.
we think.
Yeah, that is literally all I want to do. That's why I put the content out that I do every day. I don't want people to have to go through the journey I've been through to get to where I am. I'd love it if people could
Cut
like
out a lot of
get in the fast lane and get there quicker.
it.
Because I do believe that everything that I've been through has been for a reason. I've been through these things to get me the strength to where I am now, because I truly believe that I've been put on this earth to help other people and use my voice as a platform to yeah, hopefully inspire others to start believing in themselves.
I'm so happy that this ended up turning out, because obviously it is a sensitive subject, but I'm so happy it's ended up turning out into such a positive,
At the beginning of it, I
uplifting.
was thinking, oh God, I'm just gonna cry all the way through this.
No, like you've done amazing. Like you honestly, you've done. I know how nervous you were for it as well. So you've done absolutely amazing. But have you got anything that you want to add into there for anybody before we finish?
Um, no, I think I've covered everything. So my little notes that I just taken was just to acknowledge the feelings that you've got. Don't discount any feelings. You've got those feelings there for a reason, but those feelings are there to actually do something about. And no thought is irrational. And if you are genuinely feeling something, it is not silly. Just really just use it as a tool. Any bad situation that happens, be grateful for it, because it's there to teach you a lesson, and whatever lesson that is, you'll figure out afterwards. You might
Yeah.
not know it there and then, but you will look back and think, that I've had that lesson because this happened. So
Honestly, you're so amazing. Like, thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you've come on and you've spoken about this, because it isn't a subject that I would even ever think to cover, because don't I would never obviously approach somebody about this subject ever. I wouldn't approach anybody about any subject. People come to me, like obviously every single person's come to me pretty much and said, "Can I speak about this? Can I speak about that?" I'm like, "Yes." And we're covering so many subjects that I didn't even expect to cover. So this is definitely one. Even up until we spoke on the phone today, I didn't know what we were going to be speaking about. So
I
I think
didn't until it must have been, because like literally, like, as I mentioned at the beginning, if I was to tell you everything about my life, we'd be here for a month. And it was just something that, because I'd looked through the subjects that you'd covered already, I thought that's something that hasn't yet been covered, that has impacted me more than I actually thought. So I've been on a bit of a journey this past week, even just like trying to get in my head like why I would talk about it. And like I was going through everything thinking it's just silly, that I'm just talking silliness, but actually the more I've thought about it, I've had little ups and downs, I've had a few cries and thinking about these things, and I'm thinking that it's bigger than what I actually give it credit.
yeah,
It
you're
it's
desensitizing it. That's what you've done. You
yeah,
desensitized it.
yeah, I did.
You've done absolutely amazing, and I'm so grateful that you've covered that subject, because it is a subject that, again, I think a lot of people, we already know that the majority of people that are watching the videos are watching them back, but it's something that people will watch when they're ready to kind of face it themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, you just get some advice on how to make that change. And so honestly, you've been so amazing, and I'm so grateful, and thank you so much to everybody that's been watching.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Thank
hopefully,
you for the comments that have been coming up as well. I've tried to ignore the comments, but I've seen a couple coming up
I
and they've
know I
just
do
been
switch off from the comments because I don't want to get distracted. Obviously, I do see them, but I don't look at the comments just because I don't want to get distracted because this is about you. But honestly, you are so amazing, Lizzie, and you should be so proud of yourself. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
No worries, but enjoy the rest of your weekend, okay? And go and have a Malibu.
I will. I've got it done.
Enjoy it. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.